Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a different experiment, kind of a different take on an experiment we previously did. We are going to be making sea glass in a rock tumbler, and instead of using shells, sand, and rocks, we are just going to be using rocks. Small, crushed up aggregate and water. So that's the experiment for today. The supplies that we're going to be using is glass, some crushed up pieces of glass from a previous experiment left over. We'll make that a little bit smaller, very safely. We'll be doing that very safely outside with a plastic freezer bag and a smaller hammer. This is a ball peen hammer. And what we will do is crush up the pieces, bring it back inside, load up our rock tumbler and set it for probably 7 days. And then we will check on it periodically and see if we need to adjust the time. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, let's go. Okay, so we're outside now on the deck. We're going to put the glass inside this freezer bag and then we are going to smash it. Okay, so now that we've smashed up all of the glass pieces that we want to use for the project, we're just going to sort through them and pick out the ideal size pieces, something that we want to use for the project. A consequence of smashing stuff with a hammer is that some pieces become very small and they're really not usable, and I don't want to put that in the rock tumbler for the project. So we'll go through that and then we'll come back and load up the rock tumbler and set it. So now that this tumbler is pretty much filled halfway, roughly, with gravel, chips, and water, and our glass, we're going to go put this on the rock tumbling machine and we're going to set it for 7 days, top speed 3, and we'll see what it looks like after 7 days. Okay, it's been 7 days. It's reveal day. I'm very interested to see what is inside this tumbler basin. We did not use sand or shells like we did in a previous experiment. We simply used granite chips and water and our glass. So I'm interested to see what the slurry looks like. Let's find out. All right, initial impressions of the slurry. It's looking a little bit dry. I expected it to be more watery. Using an old bucket and a strainer and a jug of water, I'm going to empty the tumbler into the strainer and rinse off all of the slurry. Recommendation: don't use any containers, strainers, buckets, what have you, that you like, because unfortunately it will not be the same after you use it for slurry. I typically use the same bucket after every slurry project because it is pretty beat up. Part of the success to this sea glass tumbling project was that the granite chips that we used as aggregate have a hardness of 6, and the glass itself has roughly a hardness of 5.5 or 6 as well. So the two together were a perfect match. Opening that after 7 days was exciting. I'm very happy to see that all of the edges on every single piece of glass that we put in the tumbler is completely smooth. Now that we're done this experiment and everything needs to be cleaned up, I'm going to set aside my glass for a future project. And what I'm going to do with the remaining materials, which is this chipped granite, I've removed all of the glass. Any glass that's left over in there is very smooth and tiny, and if I can't see it, I'm not going to take it out of there. But I will save this for another project in the future, because any granite that was not completely disintegrated is usable for future projects. Now this bucket of slurry, this is not something that you want to put in your plumbing. I certainly won't be putting it in my plumbing. What I'm going to do with it is take it outside and dispose of it in the garden somewhere. Thanks for watching this experiment. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to see future videos like this, hit the subscribe button.